webinars a day, about 20, 30 phone calls with your leadership a day, plus your prospecting time. That's what you do if you're full-time. If you're part-time, you do about 1 webinar training call a day. Takes about half an hour to an hour to do. Today, we're talking about the foundation of what success is. Because as a young man at age 20, nobody had to tell me that nobody had to teach me that if I'm getting into this MLM profession in 1990 at age 20, even as a young man, nobody had to teach me that I need to work my butt out. Nobody had to teach me that I need to learn stuff. Nobody had to teach me that I got to put time into this. And we get people come into our industry. This is why the forensic is so amazing, because it really sums up 150 million network marketers into 8 distinct categories. And today, we're not going to get those distinct categories, but it's in your prosperity book, so you should be reading that. And if you are in the first 5 categories, well, you're either going to make a little bit of money or no money at all. So you know that up front. So today I'm talking to you. I don't know what category you fall into, but if you're in the first 5, that means you don't have the discipline. That means you bought an MLM lottery ticket to see if he's going to show up. That means you think the industry is too easy. You don't respect the industry, yet you wanted to get out of your job. You don't respect your profession and your business, yet you wanted to make you wealthy. I mean, it doesn't add up. If you had a job, many of you do, if you didn't go to work and expect a paycheck, if you said to your spouse, I'm not going to go to work next week and I expect a check, what would she say to you? She said, you're crazy. You're going to get fired, right? Yet we say that to our business every single day. When we don't do, look, if you're part-time, you got to put 8, 10, 12 hours in. If you're doing part-time, you got to do 8, 10, 12 hours in. 8, 10, 12 hours. You got to put in your time if you expect anything in return. In addition to your 8, 10, 12 hours in, which you got to put your PR time and training and meetings, you have to educate yourself. You got to educate yourself. So you got to become good at what you're doing. It's some basic information, but you got to have the proper mindset. And most importantly, it's the respect that you got to give to this business the same way you give it to your dead-end job. And I don't care what type of job you have. I have real estate brokers who have 120 somewhat agents working in their offices. They're still here. They're multimillionaires, they're still here. You know why? Because when I ask them why, because she says, well, after 40 some odd years in real estate, I have a pretty big lifestyle. I know when I start working, I won't be able to maintain my lifestyle. That's why I'm in Opulence. So I don't know what type of lifestyle you have, but regardless of what type of lifestyle you have, wherever you are in your life, you must do something. We know there is no other option. You got to do MLM. Unless you're going to do something with franchise or traditional business, you got to do MLM for most people because of time restraint and money and all that. So if you're going to do that because it's the only option, then might as well do it right. Respect. I mean, on this call tonight, it's a forensic call. I don't know how many lines are there, but I can guarantee you there's not 80,000 people on this call. Or say, forget the VIPs, there's no 25,000 people on this call. Why not? Why not? So everybody on this call is that you have to do 2 things. Number 1, look at yourself. Did you call everybody and tell them to be on this call? Leadership is from the front, huh? It's not from the back. You can't lead from behind. You can't lead being in the closet. People are great followers, but people are not great leaders. So they will follow you if you pick up the call and said, hey, you need to be on this call. But if you don't do that, even if you show up, you're not talking about that. I talk about forensic. Work loudly. Care loudly. You may be doing things that you should be doing, but if you're not talking about it, guess what? Your people don't know it, and They're not inspired by it. MLM is about inspiring people. People will only do more than what they do because they're inspired. Otherwise, if they're not inspired, they're not going to do anything more. So it's important that you call everybody and tell them they must get on. Look, it's the 8, 10, 12 hours. These calls fall within those 8, 10, 12 hours. If you're not willing to, make these time. I mean, we all want to do other things. For some people, they like to watch TV. For some people, it's their kids or family time. For some people, folks, this has nothing to do with your family time, your kids, or Aunt Matilda, or your job, or your church, or it has nothing to do with that. This requires its own time, just like your family time requires its own time, just like your church requires its own time. This requires its own time. So you come into this saying that, well, I want to change the direction that I'm heading. Look, we don't have to talk loudly, but we know how's our situation now compared to 5 years ago. For most people, they say it's worse. Why? Because inflation. For most, how's it compared to 10 years ago? For most people, say it's much worse, again, because of inflation. And you don't have to go far. We don't have to make the mistake in order to avoid it, right? Look around your family, friends, look outside. That how people doing at retirement age. Not very good. Not very good. So we know the job thing is a backup plan. We need a better plan than a job because we know for a fact where a job takes us. We don't know, based on our efforts, where we're going to go in our MLM profession, but okay, we're going to go and find out. Many make it, many don't. We take a look at people who put in the effort, they're always going to result. There may be a bit of a guesswork if you're going to get wealthy in MLM, but guess what? There's no guesswork in your job. It's going nowhere. That we know. So to stick to something and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to be giving my full commitment to something that I know it goes nowhere other than living in stress in retirement. Doesn't make sense to give the same respect to something that could make you wealthy. At least this has a chance. Your job doesn't. This has a chance. Your job doesn't. So you got to give it that respect. And so at age 20, when I got in, I was in the restaurant business. That was like almost 27 years ago. I had to make some tough decisions. Remember, restaurant business, it's long hours. I worked 6 days a week. 6 days a week. Restaurant was open 7. I worked 6 days a week. I had a day off. So now some guy shows up to my pizza business and gives me a flyer that inspired me. That's a good word. Inspired me. Now, he knew nothing about MLM. He was a carpet cleaning guy. He knew nothing about MLM, but he did the right thing. He showed up instead of trying to sell me on it. I knew he was excited when I said, what is it? He gave me a cookie and a flyer. So that company, they were selling diet cookies. It tastes like dog food. Seriously, it tastes like dog food. We used to make fun of it. But I suppose if you ate it with a gallon of water, fiber expands and fills you up. So I guess some people lost weight. So we had a simple method of promoting that. You see somebody, you stomp on their feet. When they say, you stick a cookie in their mouth. Right? So the point is this. When I first saw that, he gave me a cookie and a flyer. The flyer said, how can a man make $73,000 a month selling cookies from his home? $73,000 a month. See, that inspired me. He used the tool. I wouldn't have taken his word because his life wasn't that great, but he gave me a flyer that inspired me. So then I went to Toronto, met the guy, and I decided I wanted to start my own profession at age 20. Remember, I worked 6 days a week. 20-year-olds, they want to party. 20-year-olds, they got girlfriends. 20-year-olds, they don't want to be working 7 days a week. So I had a very important decision to make. And I had a girlfriend that already wasn't happy that I was working 6 days a week till 3, 4 in the morning. So I had to go back to her. I said, look, babe, I'm working 6 days a week. I know it's not enough time for us. Why don't we stretch ourselves a little bit further? Because we're both unhappy with the 6 days, right? The only day off I had was a Sunday. I'm going to use some of that to build this new business I just started, this MLM profession. Of course, she wasn't happy. The only day we have, you're going to now do something else? So the decision was simple for me. If I don't do something else, we always have 1 day a week. I always have to work 6 days because things don't change. If I do stretch myself further, that 1 day can maybe eliminate the 6 days. See, for things to change, you have to change. Definition of insanity, keep doing different things, expecting different results. My pizza business was not going to become a multi-million-dollar business. I knew that. Your job is not going to make a millionaire. You know that. So now I got this 1 day that her and I could spend together. Now, Sunday night, I had this conference call that I got to bring people over. She understood, though, if we stretch ourselves further now, maybe this 1 day can get us off the 6. That's exactly what happened. Within 14 months, I was full-time. I got rid of the restaurant business. This is back in 1991. So, folks, you have some important decisions to make in your life. Yeah, you want the special show that's on some of your people that didn't make this call because they're watching a show. Well, one of the things that I learned early on, when I first got into that business in 1990, I borrowed $2,200 to get into it at the top level. It was a lot of money, $2,200 in 1990. It's a lot of money now, but it was a lot more money in 1990, $2,200. So 2 weeks later, the top millionaire who, for some reason, took a liking to me, and he was coaching me, training me. He says, okay, Ramin, there is a guy coming to Ottawa. His name is Jim Rohn. You need to get on that seminar. It's a 2-day seminar. It's $300 to get in. So, because he knew I needed it. As a young man, he knew I needed it. As a peer, I just borrowed $2,200 to get into this deal. I haven't made that money back. I haven't even paid it back yet. Now you want me to go spend another $300 to get into a seminar. See, I didn't understand the value. He said, Ramin, I'm telling you, you need to go there. I'm smart enough to know when a multimillionaire tells me to do something, I'll just do it. See, he's a multimillionaire, I'm not. So when he tells me to do it, I'll just do it. So I borrowed another $300. I went to the Jim Rohn seminar. He said many things, that 2-day, full-day seminars. I don't remember much, but few principles sat with me. One of them was, if what you're watching, talking about, doing is not taking you towards your goals and targets, why are you doing it? Listen again. I heard this 27 years ago. I never forgot it. He said, if what you're watching and talking about and doing is not taking you towards your goals, why are you doing it? I stopped doing a lot of things. I look at the stuff I was doing, I stopped doing them. You know those days I had the 6 CD decks and for the cars, 5 or 6 CD decks for cars? Well, just to force myself to personal development, I made 5 of them into personal development CDs. I'm not a good reader, so I would listen when I'm driving. So automatically I'm in the car, I'm listening to something motivational. That's what made me to where I am. It's those decisions that I made early on. That one day, for many people will complain about that. Many people tonight are not on this call because they had a decision to make. Watch a show, spend time with whoever, or be on this call. They decided to do the other one. So how does that help them towards their goal, their financial goals, or opulence goals? How does that help them? So Jim Rohn says, if what you're doing and what you're listening to, if what you're watching is not taking you towards your goal, then why are you doing it? See, I made a lot of changes early on, including going to that seminar, including listening to personal development, taking the music out, including becoming disciplined and learning and working the business, giving this part-time profession of mine that cost at that time $2,200 the same respect of my full-time restaurant business that cost $200,000. You see, it doesn't take the same time, but it has to have the same respect. See, the restaurant business cost $200,000, took a lot of time. I've never been able to make more than $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I knew that. It just couldn't support it. Between me, Reza, my mom, it couldn't support it. It was a family restaurant. But I'd met people in this industry that were doing $20,000 a month. So then I knew, okay, well, then I have to give this the same amount of respect and do it. And that's what happens. See, when you start doing that, making those type of decisions, then all of a sudden you change as a person. You start to second guess and question everything that you do. Remember, what you do, what you've done brought you to where you are. Where you are is based on those decisions that you've made over the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So if where you are sucks, so it's not where you want to be, then for things to change, you have to change. So, you're on this call. Congratulations. Did you call everybody in your team? Tell them to be on this call. If not, then make sure next week you have at least 20 people of yourself that you've called. Not a quick email or social media. Text is good too. And make sure that you inspire those 20 people that you contacted for them to contact 20 of theirs. Now you've got 100 people on your team on these calls. You want momentum? Start leading. Some basic, simple things. We provide this beautiful training, and it's on internet. It's free. As Jim Rohn says, free is easy. He says free is good. It's so easy. You can borrow that from your kids, right? So we got to start doing those simple, easy things. So every decision you make, you're either taking you towards your target or it's not. As long as you're clear on that. So if you make those decisions that doesn't take you towards your Opulence global target that you have for yourself, when you don't get there, at least don't go and say, well, I tried MLM and it didn't work. Just don't do that. Just don't do that. See, I was terrified. So nobody had to tell me that I had to do something different. I knew that 25, 26, 27 years ago. I looked around, things wasn't that bad. You know, it was a little bit better, but it wasn't that much better. It wasn't that much better. So I was willing to learn something new that would change the direction of my, can you imagine, you know, I would have just made some different decisions last 27 years, trained 1 million people directly and indirectly in this industry, created lots of millionaires, lots of six-figure income earners. Can you imagine if I just didn't do that? So tonight you're here, we want to talk about the foundation. You can call it mindset, you can call it attitude, what do you want to call it? And you're here, it's good, but how come your people are not here? So you want to make sure you lead from the front. And I love forensic because forensic is so detailed. It breaks it down. You will end up in one of the 8 categories of involvement. Because we all seem to think we're doing it, right? We all, oh, I tried it, oh, we're doing it. Because we don't know that we're not doing it. We think we know, but we don't know that we don't know. You think we know, but we don't know that we don't know. So because we think we know, we keep doing the wrong thing. Because we don't know that we don't know, so we keep doing the wrong thing. Are you confused yet? So I want to do that so you can understand. In fact, the title slogan of the Forensic Networker book initially was, what you do know will hurt you. What you do know will hurt you, because we think we know this industry. We think we know the deal, but we don't know the deal. What's amazing is that we wouldn't do that with anything else. If somebody says, let's play baseball, you've never played baseball before. I mean, you've seen it on TV, right? Maybe you hold a bat in your hand a few times. But you know, if you go to play, you know that, okay, well, I got to get to know the rules better. I got to practice some, right? I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't go there and people say, well, this guy's lousy at baseball. See, doesn't matter what else in our lives, we know we need practice. We know we got to swing the bat. We know we got to learn, study. Yet people get into MLM, they don't want to do any of that. Because their perception is, oh, okay, I'll just talk to a few people and they buy some products, or they get in and they'll make me rich. And it's a business, requires leadership. There's a blueprint for success, not complicated, but you have to become more. As Jim Rohn says, you want to earn more, you got to become more. Larry Thompson said, hey, you don't like what you get paid? Well, you get paid the value that you bring to the marketplace. So if you get paid $40,000 a year, well, that's the value you bring to the marketplace. If you get paid $400,000 a year, well, that's the value you bring to the marketplace. Last year, the top income as an employee was 80 million. 80 million. So, but he said, well, no one's worth that. Well, I guess, but if you help the company make $1 billion, well, what's 80 million? So it's a value that you bring. So if your organization does enough volume for you to cycle once a week, well, that's the value that you brought to the marketplace. If your organization does enough to do 10 cycles a day, well, that is the value that you brought to the organization. So now, how do you turn one cycle into 10 cycles? It's leadership. Well, okay, what does that mean? What it means is that you get on these calls and you make sure you get everybody in your team to get on these calls. It means is that when you do it 8, 10, 12 hours a week as you're supposed to, you do it loudly, and so your people can do the 8, 10, 12 hours a week. It's not complicated. You just have to be disciplined. It's not hard to go to a gym. You just have to be disciplined, right? So, but I think we have a very important reason why we need to become disciplined. Just look around. So the 8 categories of distributorship will try to avoid us ending up where people before us got there in the 50s and 60s. It's difficult to try to find a job. Nor should you be, but people have no choice. No one, so they go to find a job. They can't even find a job at that age because nobody hires people at that age. So I look at that, and that terrified me in the last 3 decades. Terrified me. I was 16 years old working in a in a grocery store as a cashier, and I saw the 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds coming in pain, middle of winter, minus 20 degrees, and going to work, coughing away. And I remember it terrified me. So I don't want to be doing that at 60 or 50 or whatever. So open your eyes and look around, and then that should terrify you, because in 10 years from now, it's not going to be it's going to be harder than it is right now for you to do what you're doing. And what happens when you retire? Can you maintain your lifestyle the way it is right now if you didn't have a job? So I've given you the tools, but it's like the 8 categories. It's like a crystal ball. You'll know within 30 minutes where you're ending up. You don't, so the idea of you don't know that you don't know doesn't apply in forensic, because you definitely know within 30 minutes where you're going to end up. So at least now you can make those adjustments that you need to make those adjustments on. So once you've got this foundation, the foundation that, okay, I know the only chance I got is MLM. That's the only chance. 99.9% of the world, that's the only chance we got, all right? That's the only chance, in order to hit a financial home run. Unless you're one of those delusional people that think you're going to win the lottery someday, you know what? So this is the only chance that we've got. So now that we've got that, it's the only chance we've got, then we have to get engaged, and we need to have 3 beliefs. We call it tripartite belief, and one of them Nora was talking about. Believe in the company. All right. Now, believing in the company doesn't mean you have to necessarily believe in your upline. Okay. It's nice that you believe in your upline. I think it's good, but don't mistake one from the other. Because we get people sometimes want to quit or don't want to renew. Or why are you quitting? Are you angry or something we did? No, it's not the company. It's not the product. My upline is not doing anything. So I guess, I don't know, I'm out of the loop and I just don't want to renew. Well, I didn't care what my upline did, all right? If my upline wanted to help me, great. That's not why I got in. As a matter of fact, in 1990, when I got in, my upline, the carpet cleaner, imagine this, guys. Imagine this, ladies. The carpet cleaner who got me to Toronto and I joined under his name, I ended up becoming second highest level in that company. The carpet cleaner quit 6 weeks after I joined him. He quit 6 weeks, ego. And his upline quit but 3 months after. So I didn't know anyone about that because these guys were, the rest were, I don't know where they were, Alberta. So I was building on my own. So I didn't order the carpet cleaner came and saw me every day after that. I was building the business. I did for my reasons. I didn't care what they did. So for you to be, it's up to me, right? I knew that I had to go. I was doing this for my reasons. So if the upline didn't want to do it, I like the company, I like the product, I have my own why, boom, believe in the company. And you believe in the company has to come from what you know, what you experience, and you know what, your the information, the upline, my five, ultimate five, all of that stuff. Not because somebody who, for whatever the reason, if you're disgruntled, they're putting in your head. If you like the product, if you like the comp plan, if you like the company, perfect. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. You just, that's one tripod, one part of the tripod of belief. Second one is you want to believe in the industry. You know, it's people go out and say, well, you know, the job guy was saying that, you know, this stuff is, MLM is bad. The job guy. I mean, the audacity on these people. There's an old saying, don't throw stones at a castle when you live in a glass house. Probably not very smart. And these people never come to me because I'm so, I mean, I've shown success. I've proven it. And for 27 years, that's what I've been doing. Up and down. When I was down, I was just as convicted that my restaurant business wasn't going to take me there, so I needed something different. I didn't need to have success in MLM to be motivated by MLM. I just was motivated for MLM because of what I had in the restaurant business. You should be motivated on building your MLM because of your job. So I was really motivated. And I built, regardless of who said what. So the job guy comes and says, oh, one of those pyramid things. Oh, the guy at the top makes all the money. You know, all this stuff, right? We don't know if we're going to hit a financial home run. That's true. It's like any business. You buy any business, traditional or not, you don't know if you're going to hit a financial home run, but it gives you an option. It gives you a chance, doesn't it? And then it gives you the best chance because it's leverage. One thing we do know, the job doesn't give you that, right? We definitely know the job doesn't give us that. The job is a path to poverty. And the job guy is telling you this is somewhat less than noble. Oh, it's not going to get you anywhere. Let me tell you a story. Oh, most of the bad things happens, I don't know, for some reason, happens when you first launch in your new business. And I think God's way of having fun with human beings is like, you know, you start to do something, you're motivated. God says, I'm going to have some fun with you. So let's see if you're worthy of this. So I got into the first company in 1990, and a few months later, there was a convention in Calgary. Toronto, Ottawa, so it's about a 3 and 4 hour flight. So, and of course, my mentor calls me and says, oh, you got to get to the convention. I said, I just, got going here. I just borrowed for the package. I just borrowed for Jim Rohn. I said, no, you got to go to the convention. And when the multimillionaire talks, I want to be like, I just make it happen. So I was there. Now, I had sponsored somebody who had carpet cleaning companies all across Canada. So he says, go call my people in Calgary. Well, he didn't tell me that they hated him. But anyways, I'm 20 years old. I'm in a Calgary motel. Those that could not afford a hotel. If you start with an H, I couldn't afford it. I had to start with an M. So anyways, I'm in a motel. I'm calling this list, and I call this one guy. He had, I think, 2 or 3 franchises in Calgary. I called this one guy, and he wasn't there. He called me back. I was on the phone. I called him back. He was busy. I called him back again. Finally, I connect with him. So I told him why I was calling him. You know, it's a new company, bring it to Calgary, blah, blah, blah. And remember, I'm 20 years old, and this guy's in his 50s. And here's what he said to me. This is 4 or 5 months after I start my new profession. He said, listen, Sonny, you called me for this garbage business of yours? Let me tell you, Sonny, these are exact words. Let me tell you, Sonny, go get a job and make $9 an hour because you're not going to make a penny in this business. And you hang up. That was my first MLM business. Well, I'm 20 years old. I'm a champion wrestler. You know, when somebody insults me, the very first thing I want to think about is find him and remove a limb, right? That's the first thing that I'm thinking about at that moment. And because my ego is a little bit, you know, it's harder for me to accept those things. But instead of going out there and remove a couple of ribs, I decided that I'm going to remember this guy. That the first year I was part-time, I made about $27,000. Now in 1990, it was not a bad income. I think at the time, the average income, full-time job was about $18,000. So I did better than a regular job. So of course, I took a copy of my T4, Canadian T4, with a letter, explained to him exactly what happened. So I want to make sure he remembered me. That's why I called you in Calgary. Here's what you said. You said I'm not going to make a dime. $9 an hour, and $9 an hour becomes X amount. I made this much. Here's my copy of my T4R. Send it to him. Next year, I made $92,000. Took the same letter, copy my T4, send it to him. Next year, I had made $272,000. Same letter, copy my T4, and I send it to him. Next year, I'd made $470,000, $452,000. Same letter, and I sent it to him. You know what happened? It came back. The mail came back. He was out of business. So here's a guy that told me I wasn't going to make a dime, traditional business guy. He was telling me I'm not going to make a dime, and he was out of business. And I was pissed. You know why? He didn't see the biggest one. I guess it's not noble. I should have felt bad for him. I didn't. I was just mad. He didn't get to see the biggest one. You know what? You know why I fixed people like that, and I did many of those? Because, not really for me, for you. For you. Because now MLM is accepted because everybody knows it's accepted. Back then, people were still questioning its validity, right? It's a long time ago. So I did it. So if you're not going to get into my business, at least you don't have a right to criticize it. So believe in the industry, this is the only one that gives us a shot. And a job guy, a traditional business guy is telling you not to do this. So in any event, that's where, that's believing in the industry. I mean, now it's easy because obviously everybody's doing it now. Warren Buffett has 7 MLM companies, yet the job guy is telling you, oh, it's one of those pyramid things. So the next time somebody criticizes the industry, so look, I'll go take the advice of Warren Buffett. I think his life's a little bit better than yours, right? So that's believing in the industry. We can't question that. And then last one is the toughest one, which is believe in yourself. It's the toughest one because you can blame God a little bit on this. Don't worry, me and my God, we have a good relationship. I don't think he needs me to be, you know, he knows when I say stuff like this, it's not being disrespectful. I'm just putting it in a way, dramatic way for you guys to pay attention a little bit. So back, and you're going to look at the science behind this. When God created us, it created us with an instinct. And that instinct generally is designed as a fear of the unknown. For example, when you go back 1.5 million years ago with Homo sapiens, or 3.5 million years ago, Homo erectus, these guys had to worry about being eaten by dinosaurs, right? So they go out there, they're worried, and so we have instincts. I mean, animals have instincts. Like you see them scared, you see them angry, they attack. Geese know in the winter they go south. They don't go north, right? Geese don't think, they go south. It's instinct. No, oh, it's cold, south, right? So we're creatures. We have instincts, and one thing that God has given us to protect ourselves so we won't be eaten by next T-Rex around the corner is survival mechanism. It's a survival mechanism. And what a survival mechanism is basically you're constantly, it's a fear that you have. You don't even know why you have a fear, right? It's the fear of unknown. So of course, you're afraid to pick up that phone to call that next prospect because the fear of unknown. It's your survival mechanism. You don't know what they're going to say. They may say yes, but you don't know that. So you're afraid. Why are you afraid? You don't know they're going to say yes or not. You don't know why you're afraid. You just know you're afraid. It's your survival mechanism. So because of that, this is the toughest one. It's easy to get the belief in the company. It's easy to get the belief in the industry. With yourself, though, because it's within you, it requires a lot of training of the brain. That's when you need to do the personal development. That's why you need the gym rounds. That's why you need practice. That's why you need to do the uncomfortable thing till it becomes comfortable. You've got to constantly work on you. Work on you. See, the things that used to keep me down for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, maybe I had a bad episode like this moron in Calgary, right? I just learned to manage it, that it would keep me down for a week. Then I learned to manage it, that it'll keep me down for 2 days. Then I learned to manage it to keep me down for a day. Then I learned to manage it, keep me down for a few hours. Then an hour, then 30 minutes. Eventually, I came to manage it. When somebody said, go fly a kite, this is the pyramid scheme, you're not going to make any money in it. Within 15 seconds, I was up and running. So it's practice, right? So believe in yourself. You cannot constantly say, well, it's good for those people, but I'm not like them. Why not? I mean, all it takes is some guts and some discipline. These people don't have 5 legs. Why not? Don't you want the same things they want? Maybe the better car, better house, maybe more vacation, sending your kids to Harvard, whatever that is you want. That 10 pairs of black shoes that you ladies want to keep adding. Why do you need more than 20 pairs of black shoes anyways, ladies? But anyways, I know what you're going to say. Why do you need 5 cars? I know what you're going to say. Anyway, so the point is this. We're all created same. Some people got practice. And you think they're different than you because they only got practice before. You just didn't see that. They come with those attributes. You just have to develop those attributes with personal development. Like being on calls like this. Being on calls like this. And then that's what happens. And when you got to build that foundation, I'm telling you, when you got that foundation built, it becomes a numbers game. See, the downside to our business is a lot of people you're going to talk to. They're not going to do anything, or they're going to tell you it doesn't work. That's a downside. The upside to our business is few people can make you a fortune. Few people can make you a fortune. I said, this is a business beyond borders. It doesn't matter if you're in Anguilla, 15,000 people, where you could build it outside. So you don't need a lot of people, and the whole world is where you can pick from. Man, what an opportunity. What an opportunity if you choose to be different than everyone else. Because I'm telling you this, we're lucky that a lot of people say no to this. We're lucky. I always make fun of this. Like, can you imagine if you had 8 billion entrepreneurs? If you had 8 billion entrepreneurs, you and I wouldn't have the opportunity, right? The reason why we can average person who makes 30,000 in this country, you can make 30,000 a month, is because many people leave their shares on the table. So you and I have that opportunity. So you got the vehicle, the industry, you got the company. If it can deal with you, man, oh man, oh man, you can change the direction of your future, of your life. Change the direction. This not just your life, the next generation. And there is no excuses. We give you the training, you got the same product, same compensation. The industry is the greatest equalizer. This industry, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you get paid the same. It's the same comp line. It doesn't matter what religion, where you live, what your demographics, your financial background, your educational background, your spiritual background. It doesn't make a difference. In this industry, it's the greatest equalizer, but that's not so much so in a job, is it? We know women and men don't have the same opportunity in a job. We know there is people of ethnicity, they get the subject of project. We get that. We know that. So yet we have the job guy trying to tell us somehow his method is better than our method. And the only reason why they do that is because we don't defend our industry good enough. And the reason why we don't defend our industry is because of 3 reasons. You got to believe. I always say you got to be 100% in, not 99%. You got to be 100% in. Write down 100% in. Because if you're 50% in, every little problem takes you out. You know, if I had a distributor, oh, a shipment didn't arrive, got stopped at customs, and they're freaking out and they're losing it, they want to quit. As if the company owns the customs of the country. See, those are people, they're not all in, right? They're not all in. If you're 75% in, I'm telling you, when the challenges come, and they will, you're going to have a difficulty convincing people to join you because you're not all in. If you're 99% in, I'm telling you, you're going to run into people who are 100% in their negative ways, or they're 100% in a different company, and they discourage you. So you got to be in 100%. How many percent? Write in the chat, 100% in. And when you're 100% in the company, you're 100% in the industry, you're 100% in yourself, that you're no different than Reza, Renee, and all these other people, you can't fail. You work with the same product, you work with the same opportunity, you work with the same comp plan, you work with the same support platform. The equation is simple. So what is the X factor? You. So we're telling you what to do. Educate yourself on the industry. If you're 100% believer in the product and the company, talk about it loudly. And keep telling yourself that. Have you heard of positive affirmation? Things about yourself that you like, you say it was the same with your company. Keep telling yourself that, because it is something. You hear negative stuff from outside, you got to fight against that with positive stuff about the industry. Remind yourself, what's the alternative? You know, Nora talked about it earlier. The 2 words that changed my life. Now what? Right? I'm here because of it. And look what's happened because I made those decisions. And so again, it's not hard to believe in the industry, being the 2 words. Now, if you quit, you know where the job takes you. Then that leaves it with you only, your belief level. And once you've got dealing with that, personal education, being calls like this, don't miss. All right? After that, it's a simple business plan, 8, 10, 12 hours a week between prospecting, training, support. 8, 10, 12 hours a week, part-time, if you're full-time, more than that. And then you got yourself a blueprint that's a winner. You got a winning business plan. So with that, Mike, I'm going to pass it back to you. And I think, we're going to keep these calls not too long. I'm pretty revved up after 27 years because, folks, I've seen more than you what this industry's done for countless amount of people over the past 3 decades. And as you see that yourself, that's when you're going to become bulletproof. Let's put it this way. How many of you saw the Fountain of Life, and all of a sudden your belief level is out the roof, right? So that's what's going to happen in the industry, the company, as you do the right things and see the results, how people's lives being changed. You know what success, I talk about this on the cruise. Success is not the number of millionaires we've made or being in 200 countries or the hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. That's not, well, I guess it's success because there's a number attached to it, and numbers can be verified, and numbers are easy to understand. Well, let me tell you what success is to me. Success to me that we have so many people in this company that say, like Nora, that have made money week after week from week number 1. Doesn't matter how much. I've made money week after week for the last 10 years, 12 years, 8 years, that is success. So since we have all of that, you can draw from that towards the belief in the company, the industry, and yourself. So back to you, Mike.
Thank you so much, Ramin. Another great training. That's 2 for 2 today.
Yeah, the training for sure.
So, hi everybody. I hope everybody got a lot out of that training. Ramin, the network, the forensic networker, sorry, is always very passionate, very powerful every time he speaks to us. I get to hear it every day in the office, whether he's yelling at me or he's just telling me something new I need to know. So we got a couple minutes left on the call, and really want to be able to answer all of you guys' questions. If you have any, or any statements, something you would like to share, just let me know. And I'll try to get through all of your questions as fast as we can. Are you still there?
Hi, Mike.
Hi.
I'm here. There's a question, but this is a product question. Sandy said new customer info and want to take right away. Sandy, that's actually at here your customer's discretion taking FOL. And besides, this is actually a product question. But just to answer your question, it is up to the customers, your VIP client's discretion of taking that because he is on medication. Okay.
Folks, let's keep the questions for business related to what we talked about today. We do have a Monday night protocol that everyone should be on. Again, I talked about it earlier. 8, 10, 12 hours a week includes these calls because the calls are about an hour or so. So make sure that you are attending these calls.
So we answered that one live. Let's see what else we got, Dora.
We have that's product related questions. There are a few more product related questions.
Yeah.
But I just want to go to the chat room and wow, we have a lot of people actually from Cayman Islands. They're in attendance, and Bernice said, "Boom."
Hi, Berlin. I'm in the office tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You didn't even rush with me.
I'm at my desk at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, you were gay.
There's people say massive success. Yes, the best revenge is massive success. This one, they're talking about the big check that didn't arrive because the guy's business got shut down. And also, there's a lot of thank you. There's a lot OMG, OMG, what a kick-ass indeed. Powerful call. And wow, wow, wow. Lots of wow, wow, wow. Truly amazing. Insane call. Yeah, his passion, yes. And now that's the reason exactly why the belief in the company that what's Mike was asking earlier, it's because of that. Because of Ramin never, in my 10 years in the company, he never, he always over deliver whatever he promised. So that's the thing. He haven't the how do I say it? Deviate from what he promises.
Yep. I think a lot of people don't understand. With the size company we have on a global scale, a lot of people never have access to a CEO of a company. You guys get to have access to him anytime you want to. It's a great thing to know how much he cares about each one of you. He's always there. He's always here to listen for you guys. He is great to work for most days.
Most days? You must be bad, boom.
So, no, anybody who knows Ramin knows how much he cares. He would do anything for any one of you. And it's great when we do get a chance to get him on these calls. Make sure that next week, if you're here today, you bring somebody else with you next week. Whether you're having your whole team at your house doing a training before we start our call. And then we can reach out to your entire team. Never show up alone. Vernisha, hi Vern, she loves this industry. She loves the company. I couldn't be more proud of Vernisha and the job that she's doing down in St. Lucia. They are absolutely exploding on the product. She's doing a great job there. Aaron said half her team's here. Great job tonight, Aaron, getting everybody out on this call. We want to make sure we see them again next week as we do another chapter in our Opulence Prosperity book. And I can't wait to see everybody next week. See any other questions, Nora?
Oh my God.
Question about Jamaica market. What about it? It just says what about?
What about the Jamaican market?
Oh my God, dude.
How do you pronounce her name? Ethnic?
Ethnic.
This game is trash, dude.
Mammy, once a week? No. Me and Ramin have talked about maybe him jumping on the call. You just never know when he's going to jump on the call. So that means everyone needs to be on these calls every single week.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Nora's here. You don't know when he's going to show up. This one we actually promoted, but he could be on any of these calls. A lot of times he's just in his car driving. Nora's seen it. I've seen it where he's in his car driving. All of a sudden he pops up and we don't know he was going to be here. So whether he's here or not, anyone on our staff, any of our trainers know the same information that Ramin knows. He's a lot more experienced in it, but he sits us down and he talks to us about things every single day that he wants us to translate to the field. Not just us, but any of the leaders in the company. It could be Renee, Reza, Nora. It could be Aaron. It could be Vernisha, Ronan. All of
Mike, I want to reiterate something. Folks, you got 8, 10, 12 hours a week that you have to allocate. I'm going to keep repeating this. So it doesn't matter who is doing a call. You got 8, 10, 12 hours a week that you must allocate to your business, if you're part-time. And that includes these calls. And if you don't do that, if you become selective, if then your people will follow that and you don't build momentum. Very important, folks. Don't question it. The information is always amazing. You need your weekly dosage of motivation and inspiration. So, and most of all, you need the discipline. So it doesn't matter who is doing it. You want to make sure you follow the blueprint to get you to where you want to go without, that's what we talk about, be 100% in. We talk about the belief. Don't question anything, 100% in, follow the blueprint, you'll end up where you want to end up.
I did have a question just now from Karen Hardy. Can you still offer discounts and promotions through your back office? Karen, we went over that, I think, last week, where we talked about how you can gift shopping credits to your VIPs. So that allows you to run your own promotions, your own discounts through your back office. Did that answer your question, Karen? Okay. Well, folks, thanks everybody for coming on the call tonight. We don't want to keep you too long. Just remember, if you have the will, we have the way. Ramin is always here for you. I'm here for you. Danny, everyone on our corporate staff is always here to be able to help you and answer any of your questions. If you need anything, just always know we're here. Your upline is your first contact, and then we're always there for you. So everybody have a good night. Ramin, anything in closing?
Yes, stay on the blueprint and to infinity. Let's go.
To infinity.
Thank you so much, Ramin, for being on the call and training the forensic. It was a great refresher. I even still take some notes. And thank you so much. I know you're still in the office. Maybe it's time to go home.
No, he'll be there all night, Nora. You guys don't know he has a secret room with a bed in it.
All right. Good night. Good night, Mike. Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, Ivy.